Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Relatives of the British victims of the Tunisian beach attack in 2015 say they will sue tour operator TUI for failing to protect holidaymakers. The inquest into the deaths of 30 British tourists concluded that they were unlawfully killed by a gunman. But the coroner rejected claims of neglect against the hotel and TUI. One man who has long warned of the instability of Tunisia following the Arab Spring is the scholar Tariq Ramadan. He was persona non grata there for 18 years for his criticism of the government. The Islamic writer and philosopher was also refused entry to the United States for 5 years under the Patriot Act, until the ban was revoked in 2010. He's an advocate of Islam's place in the West and rejects any clash of civilisations. His latest book, aptly named Islam, aims to offer an understanding of both the history of the religion and its place in the world today. But some have questioned his links to the Muslim Brotherhood, an organisation several leading Republicans want designated a terrorist organisation. He joins us now. Professor Ramadan, let's take Tunisia. This surely is in danger of becoming a clash of civilizations. You have an Islamist-inspired gunman who kills Western tourists, resulting in a complete collapse in the Tunisian economy. Radicalization rises and bang, pop goes the weasel.
I think we have to be very cautious with this, because if we look at facts and figures, this guy was not within a Muslim organization. He was high on cannabis when he did it. He was a break dancer. He was very far from anything that could, for us, being understood as being involved in political Islam or radicalization. Even the word radicalization means that he was first a believer, a practicing Muslim, and he became a violent, which is not the case.
Then let's ask about IS itself. I mean, he claimed he was inspired to some extent by that movement. Is that an Islamist? Is it part of Islam?
These people, yes, I cannot say they are not Muslims. And I'm not going to say it has nothing to do with Islam, because they are quoting verses of the Quran. As a Muslim scholar, what I have to say is that I have to condemn what they are doing, and we also have to look at the way they are dealing with these people around the world. All the people who are being involved in terrorist attacks in France or in Tunisia or elsewhere in the world are people who are not connected to any religious organizations. So fact
but
is,
they are Muslims.
They are Muslims, but you can have a distorted understanding of Islam. And for us as
Those
Muslims,
in Paris visited the mosque.
No, not very much. They were not connected to the mosques, and that's the point. That's the point.
Well,
even
one
here,
particular
in
mosque
2000,
in the northern suburbs that a number of them attended.
yes, they can go once or two, but they are not connected to a Muslim organization. And what we have
How can you be sure?
Because these are the facts and the figures. We studied the profiles of the people, and what we had is 80% of the people have less than 6 months of practicing and knowing Islam.
Right,
and some of them are just, the guy, we didn't know who he was, and he was, even his family say, it's not possible that he was involved in religious things.
Let's go to the Muslim Brotherhood then. After all, there was an organization voted for by the people of Egypt, eventually denied power by the military and the West. And Mr. Trump intends to try to ban the Muslim Brotherhood as an organization. Your own family is descended from Muslim Brotherhood founders.
I'm the grandson of Hassan al-Banna. I'm not a member of the Muslim Brotherhood. This was clear, and I was clear about it.
But this was a once moderate organization which is surely being radicalized by pressure from the West.
Once again, what is very important in what you are saying is that they were not radicals, and still the mainstream within the Muslim Brotherhood are not radicals and are not violent, and they are refusing this. And my take is, even if we don't agree with them, even if we are against their ideology, we can't support dictators radicalizing some of the youth in the streets. And even, by the way, when you are talking about Egypt now, it's as if it's the Muslim Brotherhood versus Sisi. No, that's not true. That's a lie. What is happening in Egypt today is Democrats. They are people who are secular or Islamists saying that this is a dictatorship. Shame on us in Europe are in the West, supporting a dictators, not being able to say, if we stand by our principles,
well, how are you
we
going
should
to combat people like Trump who think that they are the menace?
So I think that, you know, this is what I have been trying to say in the book. I don't want, for example, always to be put in a situation where I am on the defensive, trying to say to people like Trump or people like what we have even in this country, in the UK or in Europe, you know what, we are nice people, we are good Muslims. No, what we have to do now is as citizens, with you and me, journalists and politicians, to be able to come with a word saying, you know what, Islam is a Western religion. You're not going to ban us from our own countries because we are at home in the States, we are at home in the UK, and we are going to build the future together.
The message is out there. Thank you very much indeed, Professor Ramadan.